Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at another transport ship, and this one is called the Light Transport Shuttle, called Skipper, which is this lovely thing right here. So this is a fairly small, very sleek and almost luxurious transport vessel for you to transport your friends or even allies from one place to another. Pressing F10 and finding the Light Transport Shuttle in the spawn menu. There it is. This thing is 1,845 small blocks using the decorative block number 2, Wasteland and Warfare 1 DLC packs. It features no mods, so we'll give this a thumbs up, which I already have. Then move around to the very front, we'll have a quick look around the outside, have a quick look on the interior, and then we'll see what happens next. At the very front here, this is what we get. We've got a lovely glass bridge where we can see a small seat control seat to fly this thing around. Surrounding that, we've got some white carbon fiber blocks with our wasteland spotlights just on the side there. And just behind that, we've got some gatling guns, which are just sticking out via some sloped steel blocks. As we move around the side here, we're going to see even more glass parts to see inside and to peer outside, and some nice use of the letter block spelling NAC. Coming around over to here, this is the first of 2 hydrogen thruster pods that stick out on the side of our ship, featuring one large hydrogen thruster and one small one to stop you. If I was to come into here, we can see how this has been attached on via some steel blocks, and we can see the conveyor going across from the main body of the ship into the pod. If I come out there and start to move around the side here, we're going to see a lovely white light and even more hydrogen thrusters to help us on our left and right. Just below that, we've got a small decoy block, just in case you get into a pickle versus a drone, and hopefully they'll target this rather than the main body of the ship where all your passengers are sitting. Coming up and above this pod, we'll then be able to see some gyroscopes in there, some air vents to suck in any kind of oxygen from the surrounding area. Then towards the back of it, this is what's going to push us around. So we've got 2 large hydrogen thrusters and 6 small hydrogen thrusters, so we should get some great speed when flying around in this. At the very back here, we've got a button which will open up this very well hidden doorway right here, which has the light attached onto it. You might be able to see it a bit better here. In fact, I'll bring the character over and we'll press the button right now, which will then reveal a doorway to get in and out. It's very well hidden. You wouldn't really notice it if the button wasn't there, but there we go like that. It's a bit juddery, but it's perfectly safe. Then if we were to come up and above here, we then got an access point for our turret on top. Then continuing all the way up and above, we've got an ore detector and antenna, just in case you want to go around and look at asteroids to see what precious resources they have. And right next to it, we can see a couple of batteries. For the very top there, we can see 12 small hydrogen thrusters, and on the opposite side, we can see even more gyroscopes, some more good use of the letter blocks using the eyes and the dots, and another set of NAC. And we can see inside there where our passengers will be sitting, but we'll get a better view of that when we go inside. And that is the very front. So coming down and underneath this thing, past this part right here where the enemies can view your feet, so be careful of that. Got some more lights, we've got some landing gear to drop ourselves down on, even more lights, and right to the very back here, we've got ourselves a connector to recharge this thing with ammunition and hydrogen. Although I will mention now that the gatling guns at the front there are not connected to the conveyor system, so you will need to pull it out of here and manually load it in if they run out. As for the rest of this, we've got a little bit of decorative features with some rotor heads, some piston heads, and some dark steel blocks. That is a very brief look around the outside, and it does look fantastic. So what we're going to do now, being I'm already in my character, is come back to the rear door, open that up, and now we can open it up. So one thing that you will notice is as soon as I open the door, we're going to lose all our oxygen because there is no airlock, but that doesn't really matter. So we just press the button up here, that'll fold the ramp all the way up. There we go, and now we can close the door up, and we're nice and safe. Looking around in here, this is what we get. We've got a lovely blue glow, which can be changed by pressing these buttons on the side. We've got a regular white light, and then we got a lovely blue glow, which I do love. Yes, coming all the way back around to here, we've got a few programmable blocks and LCD screens showing us our ship integrity script if anything's been damaged. Coming into here and editing it, there's our light color changer, and turning around to the opposite side and editing this one. This is our inertia dampener script. There we go, not too sure what that does, I've never encountered it before. Yes, we've got a small armor locker around here, we've got some air vents inside here, we've even got a sound block, and we can see some good use of the barred window blocks just covering up our conveyors. Turning around into here, we've got 4 seats for your passengers to sit on. You can just sit in here and peer up at the stars above. And if you are interested in the Skybox I'm using, there will be a link to that in the description below, just below this ship. Yes, hopping out of here, got some lovely LCD screens displaying a blue light. It is a little bit wonky because we have this right here. So this is the bottom of our connector, and it's got a window block on top, so when you walk over it you get a little bump, and sometimes you can end up in a situation where you get a bit wonky. But yes, over here we've got some ejectors being used as a decorative block, where they're just facing each other with a slope block on top. And moving towards the front here, this is what we get. So we've got 2 side control seats with buttons on each side. Now initially I thought these were going to detach from the ship and just go and fly away, but that's not what it does. Now if I bring up the HUD and come over to this is simply the connector switch lock for the connector over there, and then on the opposite side we then got our antenna toggle on and off. Coming into the side seat and looking down, this is what we get. Bringing up the HUD, nothing going on with it. Coming into the opposite side, again we've got nothing going on, but we do have a fantastic view out the side there at our hydrogen thrusters on the side, and a planet Takua, which was in a previous video. Coming out of that and moving towards the front, this is our main flying seat. So getting into here, coming into first person view, we can see our speed on the right hand side. On the left hand side we've got our clock, and then in the middle we've got ourselves a compass, our fuel and power usage, our ship integrity script, our atmospheric and planetary gravity, and artificial horizon. I can't quite make out what it's saying down there, so I'll just ignore that for the moment. Yes, bringing up the HUD, this is what we get for the controls of the Transport Shuttle Skipper. So number 1 is going to be to turn off our back and side up down thrusters, but leave the front ones turned on. Now you need to press number 2 to switch them off as well, and now everything is turned off around the ship. Switching them all back on and then switching off number 2, this is going to be our cruise control. So our ship will just cruise along once we start moving forwards, and it won't attempt to slow down. Number 3 is simply to toggle our hydrogen tanks to stockpile on and off, and number 5 is going to be for our gatling guns at the front there to fire. Number 6 is to toggle our turret on top on and off. Number 8 and number 9 is to lock and unlock our connector and landing gear. Moving to tab number 2, number 1 is going to be for our exterior lights. So if I come over, move the sun away like so, and press number 1, the lights around the ship will now turn off. If I was to come into first person view and just turn my camera like so, pressing number 2 is going to be for the internal lights. Number 4 and number 5 is for our antenna on and off and ore detector on and off. Number 7 is for manual control over the turret on top. And then number 8 is for our parachute hatches open and close. And number 9 if you want to turn off the gyroscope controls. Tab number 3, 4, 5, 6 and all that is empty. So now we can do a quick little thruster test. And then we'll spawn in a large ship and slam this into it. So moving forwards, this is what we get. So thanks to those large hydrogen thrusters, we've got some great speed with this ship, and we'll be able to transport your people in a record time. Letting go of the controls and coming to a complete stop, it's got a fairly quick stopping speed. You won't need to do a 180, so it seems pretty reasonable. Going left, and going right, we've got some nice speed with that. Going down, and then going up. Again, we've got some nice speed with that. Moving my mouse around, we've got a little bit of weight on here, but it's still fairly floaty for a small ship. So depending on your preferences, you may want to turn down the gyroscopes a little bit, but it seems perfectly fine how it is. That seems pretty much it for what this ship has to offer, so I'll just hop out of here, and then go and spawn in a nice large ship, then we'll slam it into it, and leave it in little pieces. And there we go. If you haven't noticed by the massive drop in the sim speed, we're spawned in a nice large ship. I'm not too sure if I've done a showcase on it or not. We're just going to slam ourselves straight into it, and that'll be that for this video. So yes, there'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around with it yourself, along with a link to the Skybox in case you're interested. And I'll be back with another video some point soon, and all the damage done to the large ship has been repaired up by the welders. So it is just the transport shuttle that lost the front. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.